eventful year, so let's start with a few stats on the podcast. I started this on April the 18th, and this is episode 64 already, a pretty wild achievement for the year, to be fair. Not anything I dreamed of. I've hosted 66 interviews across 14 countries, crossing genres from classical to metal, folk to electronic, and much more. And it's been an exciting first year for the 10,000 Hours of Indie podcast. There's much more to come, but I'll get to that later. So, I've put together a few of the best albums of 2025. This is just 10 for me that I've really enjoyed through the year, and one was actually only added a couple of days ago. So, in no particular order, The Lumineers Automatic, Slow Readers Club Out of a Dream, Pulp, More, Youngblood Idols, North Sea Radio Orchestra Special Powers, Blessings, Bloodstrangen, Robert Plant Saving Grace, Hannah Francis Nested in Tangles, Mound Drag, Dew, Boy Grapes When I Close My Eyes. All of those well worth checking out. I've also created a playlist for all the songs I've collected during the year, which I will post a link to in the show description so that you can hear them. That's about 40 hours worth of music there, so that will keep you going for a while. Now, I didn't see as many live shows as I would have liked to this year, but my top three, I would say number 3 was The Wave in Colchester Castle Park in August. They were the second band on, and I've never managed to catch a full set of The Wave. I'm a massive Graham Coxon fan. That was a fantastic show. Really enjoyed that. However, the sound guy could have realised that the main person was a pianist and turned the piano up so we could hear it. Other than that, good show. I think the sound guy for that entire gig was a bit rubbish, but we won't go there. In number 2, Circa Waves. After a few years of really liking the band, I finally saw them at Cambridge Junction at the beginning of the year. They were fantastic. Slightly rubbish support, but that's what you get, I guess. And then number 1, Robert Plant's Saving Grace came to Finlandia Talo here in Helsinki in May. And that was a fantastic gig. Obviously, Robert Plant is a legend, but the whole band were fantastic, and it was nice to see a couple of Led Zeppelin songs really stripped back and played acoustically. So we lost a couple of people that were really important to my musical development in 2025. We lost Ozzy Osbourne, someone whose music with Black Sabbath will always resonate with me. I saw the band back in 1998 at the Ozfest in Milton Keynes Bowl, and it will always be a treasured memory, not least because I got to see it with a very big fan of theirs and friend of mine, Andy. And then we lost Brian Wilson, one of the founding brothers of the Beach Boys. What can I say about Brian Wilson? Well, I saw Brian Wilson plays Pet Sounds in Porrijazz here in Finland about 10 years ago. It was a magnificent show. Brian himself may be a little absent that day, it must be said, but the group were fantastic, and Pet Sounds remains one of the greatest albums of all time for me. We lost lots of others as well, players who have played on albums I've loved and people in the background, so for any I've missed there, I apologise, but I'm trying to make this as brief as possible, really. So, 2026, there will be more interviews. I'll continue the 10 on Tuesday. The 10,000 Hours of Indie show on the Starship Overflow will continue, so that's an hour-a-week radio show which I've been doing for the last couple of months. That will continue weekly on a Sunday at 1 p.m. UK time, so adapt that to wherever you are. I'm going to try and write more articles because that's something I really should attempt to do. I find writing quite challenging, so I want to test myself a little bit more next year. And then there's my big project, which will be aided by the creation of a TikTok channel. 80 bands around the world. My plan is to see 80 bands from 80 different countries. I will follow the progress via TikTok and Reels and things like that. And let's see how long it takes me. I'm in no desperate hurry to get this done, but I think it's going to be a real challenge. So anybody who's got any help available for that, ideas, contacts that could help out, let me know. This will be an ongoing challenge, and I think it will probably take me into 2027 as well, but let's see how that goes. And the album of the day. I plan to listen to a lot of albums, as I always do, and I'll randomly post one a couple of times a week, maybe 3 or 4 times a week on a good week, and let you know what I'm listening to. So that's about it for this. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been involved in the podcast this year. All of the musicians who have given up their time to be interviewed, listeners for listening, followers on all our socials. and everyone who has helped me in any way during this process. There's a lot coming up in 2026. I'd love you all to be involved and to spread the word and to really get this out there a bit more, because it's been a good year, but I want it to be an even better year in 2026. So if anyone has any ideas for future interviews, special features or anything else, drop me an email, 10,000indie@gmail.com, and I will be back next year. Thank you for all your help, for all your listening and everything.